Listen closely, because the atmosphere around Hallis Hall is shifting right now. There is this heavy feeling that the 2026 season is already being decided behind closed doors. We have been waiting for the Chicago Bears to finally take that step into the national spotlight. But the news coming out today feels different. It feels like a massive test is being prepared for our franchise. Before we dive into what this means for our future, hit that like button and subscribe. Real Bears fans know we are on the verge of something huge. Let's talk about this together now. Something big is brewing for the season opener, and it looks like the eyes of the entire football world are going to be fixed directly on our Chicago Bears. Reports are starting to circulate, and the buzz is getting impossible to ignore. We have known for a while that a trip to Seattle was on the horizon for 2026, but now the stakes have been raised to a level we did not quite expect. The defending Super Bowl champions are set to kick off the season on a Wednesday night, and NFL insiders are pointing their fingers straight at the Bears as the most likely opponent to walk into that hostile environment at Lumen Field. Mike Garafolo of NFL Network has essentially sidelined the other possibilities, suggesting that this matchup just feels right for the league. This is not just another game. This is the NFL signaling that they believe the Bears are finally ready for the biggest stage. They are looking at Caleb Williams and this new-look offense under Ben Johnson and saying they want that energy to open the entire season. But here is the thing. While the excitement of a primetime opener against the champs is incredible, there is an underlying tension that we have to address. This is not just a fun trip to the West Coast. It is an immediate collision with the best team in football in one of the loudest stadiums in existence. Some are saying the league wants this because other teams like the Chiefs or Patriots have too many question marks, but for us, it means being thrown into the deep end before we even have a chance to breathe. The identity of this team is being forged in fire, and if this opener is confirmed, we will know exactly what this roster is made of by the end of Week 1. It creates this immediate sense of urgency. You cannot ease into a season when you are facing the crown. This specific matchup carries a weight that is hard to describe, because it symbolizes a changing of the guard. For years, we have watched other teams get the spotlight while we were stuck in the shadows of the division. But if Garafolo is right, the NFL is basically saying that the Bears are the team everyone needs to see. It is real. When you pull back the curtain and look at the actual path the Bears have to walk in 2026, the optimism starts to get met with some very real concern. We are not just talking about one tough game in Seattle. We are looking at a schedule that has officially been ranked as the 6th toughest in the entire league. Think about that for a second. Out of 32 teams, only 5 have a statistically harder road than we do. This is not based on old records either. It is based on win totals and the actual strength of these rosters after all the moves have been made. The emotional weight of this is starting to sink in for the fans who realize that we have the hardest schedule in the NFC North. While the Detroit Lions are sitting there with what is being called the easiest schedule in the league, we are staring down a gauntlet. We have to face the Eagles, the Jaguars, the Jets, and the Packers twice. We have to travel to face the Bills and the Dolphins. It feels like every single week is a playoff caliber battle. This creates a massive amount of pressure on the coaching staff and especially on Caleb Williams. There is no room for a sophomore slump or a period of adjustment. The implications for the roster are huge. One bad stretch in October or November could effectively end the season because the margin for error is non-existent. You start to worry about the depth of this team and whether or not they can sustain the physical toll of playing so many high-intensity games in a row. For a team that is trying to build a winning culture, this is the ultimate trial by combat. The tension is real because we all want to see this team succeed, but we also have to be realistic about the mountain they are being asked to climb. It is one thing to have talent, but it is another thing to have to prove it against the best of the best week after week without a break. This reality check is exactly what defines a championship contender from a pretender. We must stay vigilant as the organization prepares for what is coming. Every snap is going to matter more than ever before because we are finally facing the truth about our internal strength now. But this is where things change, because we have to ask ourselves what this really means for the long-term vision of the Chicago Bears. If the league is truly planning to put us in that season opener against the Seahawks, it is because they see us as a threat. They see the potential for a new powerhouse in the NFC. However, that recognition comes with a price that might be higher than some fans are ready to pay. And that is the biggest question. Can this team handle being the hunted? For so long, we have been the team trying to find our way. But now, with the 6th toughest schedule and a target on our backs, the environment has shifted. This could become something much bigger than just a few wins or losses. It could be the defining year of the Caleb Williams era. Think about the emotional escalation here. If we go into Seattle and pull off an upset, the hype will be uncontrollable. But if we stumble, the narrative will immediately turn into questions about whether we were actually ready for the big time. This is where the emotional looping comes back to the core of our anxiety. We see the talent, we see the offensive genius in Ben Johnson, but we also see a schedule that includes the Bills, Dolphins, and Eagles. It feels like the NFL is testing our resolve. The Super Bowl window is something we have started talking about, but a schedule this difficult forces that window to either swing wide open or slam shut very quickly. There is a lot of hidden pressure on the front office, too. They have to ensure this roster has the depth to survive this kind of season. Every injury will be magnified. Every coaching decision will be scrutinized under a microscope because the stakes are so high. We are looking at a scenario where the Bears could technically be a better team than they were last year, but finish with a worse record simply because of the opponents. That is a terrifying thought for a fan base that is hungry for a deep playoff run. The intensity of this situation cannot be overstated. We are standing at a crossroads where the schedule makers have essentially dared us to prove we belong among the elite. It is happening. I am going to be honest with you all, this actually worries me a little bit. But there is a part of me that is incredibly fired up. I really like the move of potentially putting us in that opening game. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, right? But looking at the NFC North and seeing the Lions get such a clear path while we have to climb a cliff is frustrating. I think fans should pay attention to how Ben Johnson structures this offense during the offseason. This is a move that could be incredible if he can find a way to keep this team explosive against top-tier defenses. I am cautiously optimistic because Caleb Williams does not seem like the type of player to shrink in these moments. He seems to crave the spotlight. But there is a part of me that fears the grind. Playing 7 playoff teams from last year, including the NFC North rivals who are only getting stronger, is a massive weight to carry. I think we have to stay grounded and realize that 2026 is going to be a year of extreme highs and lows. We might see some growing pains, and we have to be okay with that as long as the progress is there. I really believe this move by the NFL to potentially highlight us shows that the league insiders know something we are only just starting to feel, that the Bears are becoming a powerhouse. But again, this could become a problem if the expectations exceed the reality of how hard this schedule actually is. I want to see us dominate, but I am also bracing for the impact of a very difficult journey. It is that classic Bears feeling, is it not? That mixture of hope, and that little voice in the back of your head telling you to be careful. I am choosing to believe that this is the year we finally stop being the team with potential and start being the team that everyone else is afraid to play. Even if the road is steep, the view from the top will be that much better. We have the quarterback, we have the coach, and now we have the challenge. It is time now. The road ahead for the Chicago Bears is officially looking like one of the most grueling paths in recent memory. From the potential of opening the entire NFL season against the defending champions in Seattle, to navigating the 6th toughest schedule in the league, the margin for error has completely vanished. This isn't just about football anymore. It's about the character of this franchise. Can Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson withstand the immense pressure of a schedule that offers no easy weeks? The story of the 2026 season is already being written, and it feels like a drama that will keep us on the edge of our seats until the very last snap. The uncertainty is what makes this so captivating, but it's also what keeps us up at night. We are entering a phase where every single game feels like a season-defining moment. Something bigger is still coming, and you can feel the tension building across Chicago. But I want to hear from you. Do you think the Bears are ready for this kind of gauntlet? Does an opening game in Seattle excite you or terrify you? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. If you're a real Bears fan and you're riding with this team through the fire, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be here every step of the way as this journey unfolds. Bear down and let's get ready for whatever comes next. It is happening now.